Today we're going to be taking a jolly little look at Blackpink's new.
How you like that, Josh?
Well, Chris, that's why you're here.
When I think of pop music now, I just think of K-pop. They're in their own league.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Isn't it?
That is nuts.
And that feels quite new to me. That feels like the last 5 years.
It's kind of like 1,000 music videos rolled into one as well.
Yeah,
There's so much going on.
Yeah.
You could play it at a 20th of the speed and it would still be quite interesting. They all seem like they're trapped somewhat, right?
Somehow. Yeah, they're all kind of like looking up at the sky.
Okay, this girl is underground, buried.
She's looking up through her fingers.
So that looks like a funeral scene.
Okay.
You know, being buried and putting flowers around you, representing life, but also the fragility of life. Are they flipping it back onto the world that is crushing them? Is that what this is about? You've been looking at me, I've been down here, but now, flip reverse. What about you?
Yeah.
Look at me, now look
How
at you.
you like that?
How you like it? Blackpink all up in your grill. Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Okay, well that's good.
You've wrecked yourself already. Check yourself.
Very good.
And this is like a modern translation of Jesus saying, stop looking at the stick in my eye and check out the plank in your own eye.
I see, I see.
Self five.
Very good, very good, very good.
All right, Rev Chris is on a roll.
We're in a minute. Let's keep going.
Oh my gosh.
Now they're in an ice oil field.
Wow, yeah, okay, I'm lost now. Oh my gosh, there's so much.
I don't know if we're doing this video justice.
Yeah.
There's so much going on.
Well, it's funny you say that, Chris. I actually have a bit of a surprise for you. This morning, when I was researching this, I was like, how the heckins are we going to do this video justice? There's so much going on.
Yeah.
So I gave your sister a call.
Oh, you gave Victoria a call.
Who is, you guys don't know Tori, but she is a classicist, a lawyer, and I think it's fair to say a literal genius.
She's very intelligent.
She's probably the smartest person I know.
Oh, she'd go deep. She would go deep.
Really?
Can't believe you talked to Victoria.
These are the notes from our conversation.
It's like a thesis.
Oh my gosh.
There's a lot.
She was like, I need to get into K-pop. There's so much classics in K-pop.
The opening scene is reminiscent of the Greek-style theatre with a deus ex machina. This is where a Greek god was lowered from above the stage, then characters would pronounce the moral of the play from it.
And look, it is a stage.
Greek-style theatres, okay.
With the goddess Nike above it.
Very
Okay,
good.
why don't you just get Tori in? Hey?
It was too late notice.
Maybe next time, Ollie. Maybe next time we should.
Replaced.
Oh my gosh. In this case, the Nike statue would provide the moral, that of victory. However, to Tori, it seems like the video conflates the imagery of Nike of Samothrace with the Furies. Furies were the female gods of vengeance. They're winged creatures that sought revenge on men. Eris, the goddess of strife, is their mistress. Oh my gosh, this does open it up a bit more.
Yeah.
Oh my days. All you need is a double first from Cambridge to understand Blackpink's video. In Greek theatre and literature, there's huge links between weddings and deaths and bridges of Hades. Early on in the video, there are allusions to this. There are obvious symbolic and lyrical references to hell and Hades, but side by side with the lady surrounded by the flowers and one character falling back into a coffin of flowers while in a wedding dress. This is possibly a reference to Persephone, who is taken to Hades when she's picking flowers and brought down to be his wife in hell. The story is that an agreement was reached that could return to Earth for 6 months of the year while she brings spring and summer with her. There are obvious references throughout the video to the changing seasons, with the girls being trapped but dancing their way through it. My goodness.
I like it. There are changing
This is
seasons.
literally like
spring.
That explains the Snowpiercer, a frozen world.
It gets crazier. While she's in hell with Hades, Persephone is the queen of hell, but ultimately her destiny isn't decided by her. She's trapped by an arrangement made for her by others. It was Persephone who was so moved by Orpheus's music that she convinces Hades to let Orpheus's wife go back to the surface. Perhaps Blackpink are trying to do the same thing through their music, to bring joy and freedom to others, even though so many things are outside of their control.
Oh my gosh. This makes so much sense.
Okay.
Lisa is seen next to a bird and then is later wearing a falconry glove. This, alongside other imagery of wings, may be a reference to Fama, Zeus's winged messenger, the Roman goddess of rumour, fame and infamy.
Wow.
Virgil describes her as being small and fearful at first, then growing larger and stronger as rumours aren't enough until she fills the sky.
This is maybe stretching things a little bit. But it looks to me like there are themes of spiders. Jennie's dancers move their fingers around her face like spiders.
Another thing I noticed afterwards, there's 4 dancers, so 8 arms.
8 arms,
Oh my
okay,
gosh.
okay. Their costumes look like webs. And Jisoo sits on a chair that looks like a giant spider.
Oh, that's what that chair is.
If this is deliberate, an allusion to spiders would be significant. Ovid recounts how the talented mortal Arachne challenged Minerva, goddess of wisdom and crafts, to a weaving contest. When Minerva could find no flaws in the tapestry Arachne had woven for the contest, the goddess became enraged and beat the girl with her shuttle. After Arachne hanged herself out of shame, she was transformed into a spider. Wow, that...
I mean, given everything that's happened in the K-pop world in the last year, there's been a spate of suicides among K-pop stars, largely owing to online bullying and to unrealistic expectations of them.
just a lot. It's, wow, I mean,
It's kind of...
that's really deep.
Obviously, there are some pretty dark themes there. Like, it's about overcoming haters and the shame being piled upon people and the pressures that that has. From a priest perspective, is it okay to punch back?
It depends if you're meaning metaphorically or physically. I think most of us, when we face bullies, initially we're scared of what they can do to us, we're scared of physical or emotional damage, but when you recognize it's actually the insecurities of the bully that you can overcome them, and it doesn't mean you become stronger and you're able to beat them up, it means that you understand that they were actually quite a fragile person. You take away their monster power.
Being out there as a K-pop star, you know, we've talked about this before, and the amount of people there are online that are just like criticizing everything about their appearance, about everything they say, about every way they act.
What I would say, try and have a soft heart but a hard skin. Because as soon as you allow it to hit your heart, it affects your sense of self-esteem and it can turn you bitter and angry, and you do not want that. And also remember, we talked about with Billie Eilish a similar thing, you know, find your Phineas, find that circle around you of encouragement, of support. I remember actually once I was in a classroom and this kid said in front of the whole class, he said, "No one likes you, Lee." And he looked to the whole class and he said, "Does anyone like him? Does anyone like Lee?" And all these people were just like quiet. But one guy, who's still a good friend of mine today, his name's Charlie, he said, "I like him. He's a good guy."
Oh, that's
and
really cool.
I still remember that. We're like 12 years old.
Wow.
There'll be a lot of people here who potentially aren't being bullied, but they may see people being bullied.
Right.
And if you do that, it is your place to say something.
Well, I mean, speaking of calling out hate, K-pop has made the news in the last few weeks by hijacking far-right hashtags.
This is true.
Like White Lives Matter and all
Massive
that
like
crap.
white supremacist, yeah.
Oh, really?
They just tweet fan cams with like hashtag White Lives Matter, and then like literally that entire hashtag is ruined because it's all
So many K-pop fans
it's
are on
all
Twitter.
K-pop. Isn't that great?
I'm really proud of the younger generations coming up. I think they're good. They got it sorted. They're like looking at the world and they're saying, we can do better. We can do better than this,
Feels
and let's
like
do
it.
better. They're caring about the environment more, they're caring about equality more, and they're actually doing something about it. I'm excited for what the future brings with this generation.
This has been a priest and a classicist reviewing Blackpink's How You Like That.
I think Blackpink are pretty cool, and I think K-pop is a really exciting genre that, you know, maybe it should just be called pop, I don't know, because it is literally the only pop
taken
worth
over.
watching from groups nowadays, isn't it? They're leagues ahead. Maybe Blackpink need a chaplain. I'm right here. Rev Chris.
All right.
All right, well guys, we'll see you jolly soon.